Flag. All right.
Have some different stuff.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is a booth from Thomas Downey Modesto High. It's really great. We offer lots of programs here.
Have you done any other sectors here?
We have floral team, floor classes, mechanics, welding. We also get started whatever year you want to. And keyboard binding.
Are you planning on continuing to
This is our judging team. Currently we have tree, poultry, and livestock and farm power. Our poultry team is probably our most successful team. They're going to go to state meet Saturday. And then on poultry, they won a couple of livestock teams. Consistently get to the top 5 competitions. I'm actually high individual one of our over here, we have some of our big projects, a lot of livestock. We have quite a bit of dairy. We have, I have this here right now. We also have a couple of our steaks and then we have also some courses. We offer PIM classes, vet science classes. We have an ag leadership class for those who want to stay more involved in agriculture. And then we attend conferences all around California. Our freshmen attend the Green Hand Conference here at MPC. We just recently attended a state convention where every FFA chapter in the state goes to, we went to Ontario this year. That was, we just watched, it was really fun. And then we also went to different, conferences in Los Angeles, Monterey, ALA, FFA. And then we also do speaking contests. We had a really successful time with the Spanish Tree. We have a second place winner in our freshman in green, and they were really successful. Ended that last part.
Hi, I'm Oxy Zero. I'm the president of our Central Catholic Church. Our chapter's been around for about 9 years now. We're taking it next year. And we have a lot of fun classes and activities get involved. We have a veterinary science class, which is an honors class. We have floral classes as well as horticulture classes. And we also offer showing, county fair showing, and we also have speaking competitions. We do pretty well, which is fun. And a cool part of our program is our Boots and Blue Jeans fundraiser, which is like a big dinner auction night that we have for our big donors to come support. This is what honestly supports our program the most, with socials, meetings, and a lot of these events we travel to really it pays for a lot of that. It helps out. It's also a good time.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Mark.
And we're here to talk to you about the program. So our program consists of 4 pathways. We have greenhouse, ag mechanics, well not 4, ag business, ag leadership, vet science, stuff like that. I'm involved in animal science and succulents and greenhouse, and I excel in so it helps our students.
I'm involved in ag mechanics and ag wood shop, and I help make things like this. Yeah.
That's about it. Thank you. Sorry.
My name is Roman Rodriguez, and I'm currently the FFA president. So here at our booth, we like to show things that the people who are presenting about are their specialties. And so, for instance, we have awards that only the people who are presenting actually earned, rather than ones that may be greater 4 years past. An example of this would be Rosa. She will talk to you about the state proficiency for floral.
So this year I am the 2023 state proficiency winner for For the past 3 years I've been growing these flowers as well as other flowers, and I've been using those to give back to my ag classes, especially the floral class, and use those in arrangements that then are later sold, and all those profits go back into our program to go to field trips. And then we have Liz over here.
Yeah, I actually didn't bring my award, but I help with the ag food science department at our school, which is basically like culinary, and it's farm to fork, so we grow most of the things that we cook with, and the animals that we have at our farm we raise and slaughter, and we cook with those in our classes. And last year I won our salad prep competition. I placed second, and so yeah, we just have our farm to fork program, and we just learn about the nutrition aspects and like the dietary stuff about the stuff that we cook.
And then over here, my specialty in agriculture is public speaking, and so I've won extemporaneous awards, which is more of a, you get a topic and then you have to speak about it for 5 minutes after like you have a little bit of time to prepare. And so with extemporaneous and public speaking, I believe that in agriculture, we need more people who are good public speakers in order to present true information to help people see how wonderful agriculture is. If we can build that sense of community with public speaking, then I believe that we can improve agriculture and the lives of the daily foods so much. And so we all have our specialties here. I'm also a mechanics student with the welding helmet right over there. And we all just really enjoy what we do, our specialties within agriculture. We are one of the only schools, if not the only school, with an ag academy, which means we have ag English, ag math, ag history, other portions than just the agricultural science classes. I also believe we're one of the only ones with the ag food science program. We have so many diverse things at our school, diverse students that really may not be involved in agriculture until FFA. We try to involve them and show them that there are portions of agriculture that are for everyone. And so that's just a little presentation about our school.
Thank you.
We're by FFA. Here we have some flowers from our greenhouse and horticulture pathway. We have a award that our mechanics team has won, along with a couple of examples of pieces of engine. And then we have a chicken to represent our animal science classroom and anything that we learned there.
Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge Modesto Junior College, Don Borges, John Macedo, and the NJC Ag Department staff for preparing today's meal and allowing us to once again use this wonderful venue. In addition, I would like to thank Modesto City Schools, FFA teachers, and students that helped set up for this event. I am thrilled with the turnout we have today, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to come together in person to celebrate and support our ag community. This event provides us a chance to celebrate agriculture, the heart of the valley, which is a main source of our livelihood and a large contributor to our economic development. This event reminds us of the importance of community. This room, the attendees, the event planners, and our critical sponsors have invested time, energy, and dollars to continue the promotion of a sense of community. Networking, discussing ideas, problem solving, and sharing a meal is a critical component to ensuring our ag industry continues to come together and flourish. Last but not least, this event celebrates our youth, our future workforce, our future farmers of America. Much like many of you, I am a product of community support and would not be here today without it. My family has a long history within ag education. My grandfather, Dick Neubauer, was an ag teacher at Beyer, Johansen, and Houston high schools. And my father, Rick Neubauer, followed teaching at Livingston and Fall River. Having been raised to understand the importance agriculture plays in our everyday lives and the strength of the communities built from agriculture, I took to every opportunity ag education and FFA provided. Through those opportunities, I was fortunate to be elected to serve as the California State FFA officer. So know that your contribution is directly fostering growth within these students and gives them purpose, direction, and a community to be proud of. We must continue to invest in our future and support our students in their desire to be contributors to the ag community. Your attendance here today does just that. So thank you all for coming together today. We hope you enjoy the program. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium the Modesto Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Trish Christensen.
Thank you, Jace. I too would like to welcome you to today's Aware Luncheon. Our dedicated committee members and chamber staff have worked to bring an amazing event with inspiring speakers together for you to enjoy today. We greatly appreciate having so many returning and new supporters join us in sharing in these festivities. Today's list of sponsors and attendees showcases the commitment of our community to invest in and support the young people in our local FFA program. These students are on a mission as future farmers and stewards of our prized valley agriculture. This scholarship fundraising event would not be possible without each of you. I wish to recognize the representatives we have in the audience from both Congressman Duarte, Congressman McClintock, and Assemblyman Alanise's offices. If you could please just stand and wave briefly. Thank you. And please welcome the Board of Trustees and leadership from Modesto City School District, Modesto Junior College, and Foundation. Do the same. Please give a wave. Thank you. Welcome to Sheriff Dirksey and your team, as well as the board members of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce. All please give a wave. Thank you. I invite you to join me in appreciating our event sponsors who have made today possible. Our silver sponsors, American Chevrolet, Berlin & Coer, F&M Bank, J.S. Weston Companies, Sutter Health Valley Area, and Yosemite Farm Credit, as well as our table sponsors, Atherton & Associates, Bank of Stockton, Big Valley Capital, Boyette Petroleum, California Poultry Federation, California State University Stanislaus, Farmers Warehouse, Flory Industries, Garton Tractor, Grimbleby Coleman, H&M Claus, JM Equipment Company, Melvin T. Wheeler & Sons, Moxie Credit Union, Modesto City Schools, Modesto Irrigation District, Modesto Junior College Foundation, Stanislaus County Farm Bureau, and Birchall Nursery. Let's give them all a round of applause, please. And lastly, the meal would not come together the way it does without our in-kind donors for the food we're about to have. So let's give some appreciation to American Ag Credit, Ceres Pipe and Metal, Crystal Creamery, F&M Bank, Flowers Baking Company, Modesto City Schools, Modesto Junior College Agriculture Department, Modesto High FFA, Modesto Steel, Stanislaus Farm Bureau, Stewart & Jasper, Terra West Group, Train of Foods, Yosemite Farm Credit, and of course, Yosemite Meat. Let's give them a huge round of applause. I would like to also highlight that the centerpieces on your tables were created by the students of the floral program at Byron High and Gregory High Schools. Thank you for that. We currently have 8 local high school FFA chapters in our area. Over the past 26 years, we have raised scholarship funds to support those students through this event. These programs are a success because of your loyal support, and we thank you for being here. I'd like to introduce Carrie Lopriata to offer the pledge.
All right, if we could please stand, put our right hands over our heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce Jeremiah Williams. Before we enjoy this meal, he is owner of Oak Crafts by Jeremiah and Modesto City Councilman who would like to offer today's invocation.
You may continue to be seated, only if you turn to the person next to you and say, "What have you done to your hair?" You're already trying to figure out if they did anything to their hair. They didn't do anything to their hair. They just combed it this morning. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful county we call Stanislaus County. We thank you for every farmer. We thank you for every dairy farmer. We thank you for every walnut farmer, every almond farmer. We thank you for every future farmer of America. We thank you for all of the young people that are here that are going to continue the legacy that is so rich in this community. We thank you for this food that we are about to receive. Let it nourish our body and give us strength and goodwill. We pray for those that aren't able to enjoy the meal that we are today and also to celebrate our accomplishments in this community. We pray for those that are sick and cannot make it. But we also pray, God, for the Ag Luncheon and each and every one that is here, that has come to celebrate and to remember the goodwill that you've bestowed upon this county. In your name we pray. Let everyone say, Amen. That was weak. Let everyone say, Amen. Come on, one more time. Let everyone say, Amen. Don't let me go to church on you now. Have a good day.
Thank you, Jeremiah. So before we break for lunch, we have a small bit of information. If anyone has business cards on them today, each of the high school programs have created a gift or an award if you would like, and a business card can be dropped in the front entrance for your name to possibly be drawn for those. So at this time, I will now dismiss all tables for lunch. Each food station is the same, so please move forward to any available station. We also have community members that are ready to assist, and enjoy your meal.
Would you guys like water?
our local FFA high school chapters. California FFA is a high school youth leadership and career development organization. California FFA currently has over 102,000 members and 356 chapters across the state. Our amazing members come from 8 local high schools: Fire, Central Catholic, Davis, Downey, Enox, Grigori, Johansen, and Modesto High. And before we move any further, I'd like to make a small correction. The flower arrangements were done by Modesto and Central Catholic High, so we'll give them a round of applause. So back to our students. Here today are 40 student members who helped with the setup of the venue, assisted you to your tables, showcased their respective chapters, and will help clean up after we leave today. Thank you to each of our FFA students for your hard work and dedication to yourself, the FFA program, and our community. Earlier, I spoke about the importance of investing in our future. Today, we will hear from 2 of our local FFA leaders. If you need confirmation of your investment, please listen to these impressive and accomplished young students. First will be Elizabeth Romero of Johansen FFA. Elizabeth is currently the Johansen FFA reporter, as well as Associated Student Body President at Johansen High School. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Elizabeth.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for being here today. My name is Elizabeth Romero, but you guys can call me Liz. I'm from the Stanislaus Tuolumne section, and I am Johansen's reporter. This is my first year being super involved in our chapter, and I have to thank my advisor, Mr. Carson, for that. He was the one who pushed me to become an FFA officer after he saw how much I loved our Ag Food Science department. Johansen is the only school in our district that has a Farm to Fork program. I joined this class my junior year of high school, and I was quick to find out that it was no ordinary cooking class. In this class, we learned important skills like being able to make a variety of nutritionally balanced meals. We go into depth about ingredients we cook with and how they work in our bodies. By taking this class, I have been given the opportunities to help in my chapter in ways I would never have thought of. For example, when our school hosted the CATA meeting for our advisors, my fellow officers and I prepared the food, which was a taco bar, for the advisors and staff attending the meeting. That is just one of the many opportunities that joining FFA has given me. My advisor, Mr. Carson, also pushed me to join our salad prep team last year. I was very nervous and hesitant to join because I had never done anything like that before. But with the encouragement of my chapter and advisors, I went on to place second in the competition. I joined FFA very late in my high school career. This is something I regret highly. I wish I could have joined sooner if I only knew what doors it would open for me. This is why your donations are so important to not only me, but my chapter. I was not able to attend state conference this past month due to financial reasons. I have 7 siblings and my parents could not afford to send me to both state conference and my senior trip, so I had to choose. I wish I could have attended state with my fellow officers and chapter members. But your donations make this possible for future FFA members. My chapter's theme this year is paving our past, growing our future. Everyone here in this room contributes to making that theme a reality. I am eternally grateful for the memories and opportunities I was given these past 2 years, and I have you guys to thank for it. I know that your contributions will mean even greater to our chapter's future members. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Next, we will have Mr. Roman Rodriguez of Johansen FFA. Roman is currently serving as the Johansen FFA president and is head of community service for the leadership team at Johansen High School. Please join me in welcoming Roman.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming. My name is Roman Rodriguez, and I am not your typical ag kid. You see, when I say I didn't come from an ag background, I mean it. Before joining FFA, the closest I had ever been to ag or to go to Dutch Hollow Farms every year with my family. Well, I used to say I was put into agriculture by mistake, but I don't do that anymore. Why? Because I was put into agriculture by fate. You see, in my pre-AP physics class, it was really full, and students like me and many other students in the class did not have a desk, and so I sat on the counter with no chair. So I just sat on the counter and wrote on the counter. And so the counselors came into our classroom and said some people needed to be removed from the class and put into ag. I was the first one to raise my hand and say that I wanted to go, because I realized that I could have a new opportunity that I would not have had previously. And so I joined the ag chemistry class my freshman year. My parents were shocked because, again, I don't come from an ag background. But eventually, they were happy with me and they realized how helpful this could be. And so I enrolled in FFA. If you didn't know, while being in an ag class, you automatically join FFA. I didn't know this at the time. So it was one of those surprises that I just really wasn't expecting. But slowly throughout the year, I opened up my shell and did more and more events within agriculture. Eventually coming up to where my teacher told me, Roman, you will do great things in agriculture, and I can see it every day in class. I want you to do prepared public speaking for this event, and so you can compete. I worked day and night for months on end to prepare my public speech. And what do you guys think I got? I bet you won't guess it. Last place in the section. And so, after this, I wasn't sad about it. I was actually really happy about it. I took it as a learning method of something that I can use to learn for future speaking. Well, I actually did some better in some speeches I did, such as extemporaneous, where I got first and second, and impromptu, where I got fourth. And so I learned this through the events that I went to, thanks to all of you. And I know students around me say the same things, but you just can't hear them because they're not speaking on the stage today. And so one example of one of those is MFB ALA. This speech and interview area was where I learned so much. The conference taught me how to problem solve effectively and to be a better leader for my chapter. As you know, community involvement is a huge issue among events all around schools, leadership, ag, everywhere. And so this helped increase community involvement by teaching us how to be better leaders and how to involve our communities. It also taught me how to better public speak. In the end, that's the reason why I got first place in the section for extemporaneous. I've also done many other public speaking opportunities because I realized that in ag, we need good public speakers to be our future. And so my specialty is public speaking. I represented Agricultural Modesto for the CTE conference. This meant that as a student speaker, I would give a speech about the wonders of ag for all of the 8 programs here today. I represented each and every one of them at that conference, and I hope I did it well. I have also given speeches to people such as the mayors of Modesto, Ceres, some city council members for Modesto, the board of supervisors representative for Modesto and Santee, and then also a representative of Josh Harder. With these events that I've learned, they will help me in college, where I plan to go to San Francisco State University, and also I plan to better my speaking skills there to help fight for activism involving agriculture and other subjects. And many students feel the same way as I do about all of the donations you make. I would not be up here if it wasn't for you. I'm glad this is the last speech I'll say in public aside from school, because of how important this speech was to me last year. I am so thankful for all of you, and you are investing in us and how we will change the future. And I hope you know that we will be one of the best investments that you have ever made. Thank you.
Well, I'd say they're prime examples of fostering growth through your contributions and your support. So let's give them another big round of applause. It is now my pleasure to introduce this afternoon's keynote speaker, Mrs. Shannon Douglas. Shannon is a proud farmer and owner of Douglas Ranch in Orland, California, raising beef cattle, sunflowers, pumpkins, corn, and forage crops, while also being the founder of CalAg Jobs, an online listing of employment opportunities in California agriculture. She is serving her third consecutive term as the vice president as the first vice president of the California Farm Bureau Federation, while being a director of the Glenn County Farm Bureau and former chair of the California Farm Bureau Federation Young Farmers and Ranchers State Committee. Shannon also serves on the Glenn County Fair Board of Directors and Advisory Board for the Hamilton City FFA chapter, as well as chairing the Orland High School CTE Committee. She graduated from California State University, Chico, with a bachelor's degree in agriculture and a master's degree focused on agricultural policy. Please help me in welcoming Ms. Shannon Douglas.
Well, thank you guys so much. It makes me kind of rethink what I wanted to talk about this morning this afternoon after we heard from our wonderful FFA members. So I'm looking forward to talking a little bit directly to them and to some of the FFA members in the room about the opportunities agriculture has for you in your next steps, because we're not done with you yet. It's part of the message I want to share today. So as you heard, I'm Shannon Douglas. I'm very fortunate to serve as the first Vice President of California Farm Bureau. And so I want to give a little bit of background on what that is, because how many people in the room are Farm Bureau members? You can show me hands. Awesome. Well, I'm super happy to see that. So we're glad to have so many members in the room. But I also realize we have a lot of chamber members that are here too that might not be as familiar with what we do. And I will also point out that we have Anna and Abby from Stanislaus County Farm Bureau here in the room, so I might possibly embarrass them, sorry Abby, but defer to them if you have some more questions locally. But Farm Bureau is an advocacy organization. We're a grassroots organization that starts very much at the county level. We have offices in virtually every county across the country, with a few exceptions. We don't have one in San Francisco. I don't know why, but otherwise, we have farm bureaus across the country. If you are a member of the Stanislaus County Farm Bureau, like it sounds like many of you are, then you are a member of California Farm Bureau as part of that, and you're also a member of the American Farm Bureau. And we have millions of members nationwide, and in California, a little over 30,000 members. We represent a cross-section of commodities and of farm sizes, so big farms, small farms, farm support groups, and those really who are just working and supporting agriculture. And I want to share a little bit about kind of how I got involved, because it's not that different. So Roman just said he's a little bit unique to that, but I don't know if you're as unique as you think you are, because you are actually very typical of who a lot of our FFA members are and who these young people coming into agriculture is, and I'm so glad for that. So I have a lot more in common with you actually as far as our backgrounds. So I'm very fortunate to serve in this role. You guys just heard about the farm my husband and I have. I was not born and raised on a farm though, at all. In fact, I'm a solid 4 or 5, depending on how you look at it, generations removed from production agriculture. My tie to agriculture even then was that my father's father's father, I've been doing a lot of ancestry work lately, so I figure that's the better way to direct that, but he managed the Glen Colusa Irrigation District, and that's actually in the county I now reside in, but I was raised in Sacramento. And I got to get involved in agriculture really because I have no sports skills at all. Like none. I don't know how I have a child who's an athlete, but 0. And so I did not have opportunities there. And when my mother was growing up in South San Francisco, she actually got, very accidentally, she wasn't sitting on a counter, but she was stopping to pet somebody's very obese horse. And the owner of the said obese horse stopped her one day and said, "Do you think you could start riding my horse, because the vet has said it's way too obese." And so she did, and my mom got in 4-H. And it's interesting because the weird pathways we find in life, and you sitting on a counter in chemistry, and my mom petting a fat horse, really kind of leads us and changes the whole direction of our lives. So when I was in junior high school, I got involved in 4-H because my mom had been involved in 4-H, not because we had any agriculture And I started with that process of animals and such. And because of that, I was living in an area in Sacramento where we did not have great schools. So we looked at other opportunities, and one of the ways to do that was through, I went to East Nicholas High School, a little bit north of Sacramento, and got involved in FFA. And FFA I found, like these young people did today, was a place for me and somewhere I could get involved. And nobody seemed concerned that I wasn't from a farm, because a whole lot of my peers weren't. Some were from some very large, in some cases extremely large, farm families and huge legacies in agriculture, and all of that was wonderful. But I found there was a place for me too. And I shared that because I want to make sure that the members in this room, as we're here today, there's a place for you guys all. And there's a place for anybody who has an interest and a passion for agriculture. And it's just really heartwarming to start by hearing about such great young people finding a place in FFA. Some of what I want to talk to you guys today, though, relates again to the FFA students, but also to the challenges you guys are probably all facing. So as you heard, I am partners, I'm one of the founders of a ag jobs listing website and recruiting service, and we have been involved in that for over a decade. And I would imagine some of you guys in this room are a lot of chamber members, right? So how many of you guys have done hiring in the last 3 years? Anybody? Yeah, probably a good hunk of you guys, right? Is there anybody in the room that can say you've done some hiring in the last 3 years and you were like, that was so easy, we have no shortage of amazing people? Okay, I was really hoping maybe we would have someone that I could say, okay, is there something we're missing? Does Modesto have something awesome going on? Yeah, you guys aren't alone. It is a really challenging time to find people, especially since COVID. And there's a variety of reasons for that. So the COVID impact, I'm sure many of you guys have seen it, have impacted how people want to work and where people want to work and the work-life balance people want to have. Many people got more time with their families and their children and want to maintain that. A lot of people decided that they don't really need to live to work. They're just working to do what they need to live. And there's some big generational shifts that have happened as part of that. But in agriculture, it's been especially challenging. And it's been challenging because it was already challenging before COVID. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the why that is. So we have I would love to do a survey of what our FFA students are wanting to major in. And here at Modesto Junior College are wonderful agriculture majors, so we're lucky to have a lot of people seeking these careers. And I hope that wherever you both go, and the others in the room, you think about how that could relate to ag. But the job opportunities are really good. So I'm going to give you some data that's a little bit old, so bear with me because some of these are pre-COVID numbers. But if we look nationally at all of agriculture across the country and at the job opportunities, you can probably bet that they're fairly good, right, based on what we talked about, right? The job placement rate is pretty good in agriculture. It's really very good, I suppose, depending on how you count it, but for every graduate coming out of college in the U.S. majoring in agriculture, we have about 2 job opportunities for every one of those graduates. Again, that's before COVID numbers, just to clarify. Okay? When we look at California agriculture, our numbers are quite a bit higher, and that's for a variety of reasons. You guys certainly here in this area, there's plenty of an animal science industry. We're just talking about the egg industry here locally. We've got great vet supply companies here in the area, and certainly dairies, etc. But there's also a whole lot of processing. You know, my hotel last night was right next to Blue Diamond. There's a lot of agronomy work, plant science, etc. So if we look at the job opportunities in California in agriculture, they get even better. So just agronomy, plant science. So if you think about this at Cal Poly, this could be a fruit science major. At Chico State, this could be agriculture with a soil science emphasis. But if it's something related to agronomy, we also have really good job placement rates. Any guesses? So nationally, we have 2 jobs for every graduate. What do you guys? Oh, he's really good. Yes, there are 4.6 job opportunities for every graduate in something related to plant science or agronomy here in California. The opportunities are really, really good, and there's a lot of really interesting reasons for that. And I will put in a quick plug too for the college, and hopefully Mr. Borges doesn't mind, but oftentimes they're looking for part-time instructors, so perhaps if some of you guys go into retirement and have some kind of an agricultural interest, if you've ever thought about teaching, there's often opportunities. They're usually looking for more teachers because we have so many kids wanting to study these areas. So these job opportunities in agriculture, though, are really, really good. And we truly do need the people who are going to do the work. But we also need the people with the ideas of what the work's going to look like. Certainly there are a lot of things changing. I was at Fresno State on Tuesday touring their program, but also looking at their ag business incubator with water technology and some really amazing work that they're doing, new technologies and people who are coming up with not only the ideas of what are new innovative approaches to dealing with the challenges we have in agriculture, but also how to implement those better, how to improve those, and how to put those to work on the farm. So there's not only the work that needs to be done, but we also need new ideas and people coming up with new ways to think about sometimes old problems and sometimes new problems. Because overall in agriculture, it's so important that we have everybody involved because we are a smaller and smaller group. So when it comes to production agriculture, we used to say farmers and producers were really only about 2% of the population. Now it's even less. It's probably more like 1 to 1.5%. So it's a really small amount of people that are feeding everybody. But there's a whole lot of people that are involved in agriculture and that are involved in all the related industries. And particularly here for you guys in a county like yours, the economic driver that agriculture is becomes really important. The Center for Excellence that was or hopefully still is here at MJC, and I don't see Mr. Borges had to confirm that still is here, but they did some great work a little over a decade ago looking at the value chain of agriculture. And so while the production percentage is fairly small, the work agriculture does accounts for more like 12 to 14% of the jobs all across the state of California, because that is so much of the producers and the processors and the people transporting those products to sale. So it's a whole lot of people. Further on the challenges that we have in agriculture is the work that I do. I get to do a lot of advocacy work, right? We're advocating on behalf of California farmers. We're doing media interviews, etc. All the wonderful ways that these guys can use their public speaking skills later on. And many of our members out in the audience too. But I had a reporter call me probably a year and a half ago. And their question was the story was really about looking at farms moving out of state and people who are moving their businesses. And the way she phrased her question to me is she said, well, I want to talk about this perception that there's a high cost of doing business for California farmers. And I stopped her because I said, wait, it's not a perception. This is reality. And I see many of you guys nodding because this is what we deal with. And we didn't get, because she wanted to really talk to people who had moved out of state and talk about the challenges. But I said, no, this is factual. This is real. I said, there's a study that Cal Poly did, so I'm sure there's some Mustangs in the room. There's usually a lot of you guys from Morning Valley. Cal Poly did a great study back in, I think, 2007, and then they did a follow-up study in 2017. And they were looking at the regulatory costs for vegetable growers in Monterey County. In fact, Monterey County Farm Bureau helped provide some of the funding to make it possible. So when they did the follow-up study, it became even more valuable than the first study, because one of the things they looked at was how much did those regulatory costs change. So 10 years' time, I'll let the students guess again, but what do you think the increase might have been in the regulatory costs? Again, this is fully scientific. There are PhDs involved in this study. This isn't just me extrapolating data somehow. This is full research, peer-reviewed study. What do you think the increase was? 20%, 100%, 260. You are very specific. 260, okay. Well, I'll give you the very specific answer then. So in 10 years' time, the regulatory costs for the growers in Monterey County had increased by 795%. Again, that's not just me making up data. That is peer-reviewed studies saying that's the increase in cost. And that is a huge part of what makes it so challenging for us to farm and do business. You guys know as chamber members with other businesses, why it's so challenging to do business here. But it's also why it is so imperative for us to be finding great young people to continue on. Because not only do we need them whether they are going to become teachers. So in my household, I use the example of my sister, was also involved in FFA. Her husband does work, and they're still related in agriculture, but she became a teacher, an elementary school teacher, and does a lot of work with ag in the classroom. She was their teacher of the year, in fact, not all that long ago. Still kept those roots from FFA. And my brother, who works in the propane industry, gets to still work with a lot of growers, fixing dryers, honestly, in his work these days. But whether you guys continue into a career in agriculture, and obviously I want you there too, but the fact that you want to work in advocacy for agriculture is so valuable, because their value moving forward as voters and as people who care about our industry is so important, but also their value knowing the issues and the challenge that we face in agriculture. So my focus for you, and my ask to the group is to thank you for continuing to support these young people. Thank you for sending them to FFA conferences and to college especially is so helpful. But also thank you for making the opportunities for them, and what can you do? So the other piece I wanted to incorporate was, what can you do about these challenges of finding employees, particularly your career employees? And one of the best things you can do, certainly investing in these young people and trying to get them to come back here to Stanislaus County and work in agriculture is part of it, but also having opportunities for them to intern and to mentor with you and to work with you. And that can be a very valuable way to bring them into your organizations, whether that's starting as an intern doing inventory at VSI or something, or whether that's having them on a production line somewhere. There are opportunities to really bring them into the fold, and very often once they find those opportunities, we can keep them. So where you can, we really encourage you to that. But my ask again today is to really recognize the opportunities. We have opportunities for all of you all, if you're interested in agriculture and understanding the value that agriculture plays in your county. Stanislaus County Farm Bureau always has opportunities for people to be more involved and be helping with their ag education events, wherever that might be. And there's so much opportunity for these young people here today to be involved in their industry and to be part of our industry and making a difference in the future. Because we don't have to be from big farm backgrounds to get very involved. You just have to care about our industry. So thank you guys so much for being here today, for supporting the cause and supporting these scholarships. And thank you to all these young people. I really hope to see you guys all back in the workforce, hopefully close to the county, maybe in the county for most of you, but know that we have a place for you and we would love to have you. So thank you guys so much for having me today. Thank you for listening, and especially thank you to these wonderful young people for sharing their stories with us today too. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Shannon. As a token of appreciation for your participation today, and on behalf of the Stanislaus County Farm Bureau, a donation has been made in your name to the FFA Foundation. Could I please ask Dean Borges to join us on stage? Oh, give him a round of applause. For those that may not know, Don is the Dean of School of Agriculture here at Modesto Junior College. Don has invested many years, countless hours, and a huge dose of heart to the ag students that have spent time here at MJC. Don is retiring at the end of June, and we didn't want to miss the opportunity to honor him today. I want to share with you that this event's scholarships this year will be awarded in Don's name. I would also like to present you, Jason, I would like to present you, please, with a certificate from the Modesto Chamber of Commerce and our Aware Committee for your dedication and partnership in raising scholarship funds for our ag students all these years. We thank you very much for your service, Don. Is this the first one of these you've had to do? You're welcome. And I'll just add now real quick, we hope you all come back in September. We hope Don does as well for our Harvest Luncheon event, which is a scholarship funder for MJC Ag. Okay, so we have projects that are done by the students of our FFA programs, and we're going to, that's what the business cards are for, we're going to call out the recipients of those. We're going to go one at a time, so if I call your name, if you kind of would just stand up or raise a hand, a student's going to bring your project to you. We're going to start with Greg Austin. Could you please raise your hand or have stand up? There we go. Is somebody in motion there, Linda? I missed that. We got it? Okay. Jewel Moore, you're next. There we go. Thank you. Jewel, could you read one more time back there? There we go. Thank you. From Atherton and Associates, Rebecca Roydson. Is Rebecca here? Oh, you can kind of make eye contact with one of the students coming your way, please. Thank you. Did Greg Austin get his award? With Bank of Stockton, Madhu Singh. Actually, if you could stand up and wait until a student finds you, that would be a little helpful. Madhu Singh, if you could stand up, please. Thank you. With Assemblymember Alanise's office, Michelle Finch, could you stand up, please? With American Chevrolet, Jonathan Quavito, could you stand up, please? Yosemite Farm Credit, Carlene Mello Rowland. Old Republic Title, Carlos Estacio, please stand. Congressman McClintock's District Rep, Bob Phelan, could you stand, please? Executive Director with Valley Builders Exchange, Christine Schweininger, please stand. Moxie Credit Union, Melanie Albino. There we go. From Hillmore Cheese, Tony Delgadillo, please stand. Thank you. John Bedell, please stand. JS West. Farmers Warehouse, Judy, are you here? We have a handwritten one. Please stand. And SureCal, Kobe McRae, could you stand? Yeah. I think we're to our last one. Also with Atherton, Rebecca, is this the same one? Did we just call the same one twice? Over here. Was it twice? Please stand. They're just coming your way. Thank you. Let's give them all a big round of applause. And again, we'd like to express our appreciation to our local businesses for your support of today's Aware Luncheon, as well as show our appreciation to our event sponsors, table sponsors, and in-kind donors. And a special thank you to my friend and RMC, Jace. Thank you for joining us today.
And thank you, of course, to Trish. But last but not least, I'd like to recognize our dedicated members of our committee. They're each listed on the back of your program. And thank you goes out to Trish Christensen, and the chamber staff for their work in planning and the coordination of the event, to the Modesto City Schools for the PowerPoint presentation, and to Modesto Junior College for the table, signs, and placemats. Let's give them a round of applause.
And we would like you to self-nominate one person from every table. If you would like a centerpiece, you're welcome to take one home with you as a gift of attendance today.
Look at that, all kinds of goodies going on. Love it. Perfect, and as always, on top of that, please be sure to take with you the packages of locally grown goodies on your tables. And thank you again to our generous sponsors, Mrs. Douglas, our venue host, NJC Ag Department, and to each of you for attending today. Very successful Aware Luncheon. We hope you all get back to work safely. Thank you.
Bye, Manu. Like that.